On Monday, the case management hearing of the election petitions continued in the High Court before Chief Justice Madam Roxanne Wiltshire, where Attorney at Law Douglas Mendes argued that the notice of applications filed by the Attorney General Ante seeking to have the election petitions dismissed should be upheld, given that proper service was not effected on the second named respondent to the election petitions, David Granger.
Your Honor, you raised the question of service on the 22nd of October. And obviously it would have been apparent to everyone why you were raising it, because it was out of time. And I think you may even have made that observation that it was out of time.
He stated that the petitioners had served notice to the former president outside of the prescribed timeline.
Then in Petition 99, the petitioners were under an obligation to serve him within 5 days of the presentation of the petition. And Your Honor asked to be addressed on the fact that the affidavits of service indicate that he had been served on the 25th of September.
The attorney argued that while Granger should have been served a notice on September 18th, the former president was not served until September 25th. He argued that even if the date of service was incorrectly stated and it was a mistake, as is being claimed by the petitioner, it should have been corrected promptly, but instead the petitioners waited until several days had elapsed before making the necessary corrections. This, he claimed, could only be as a result of the fact that the petitioners intentionally served the notice to the second named respondent, David Granger, later than had been prescribed.
And one would expect that if an error had been made in the affidavit, that either you would have been told right away, milady, there's an error in the affidavit and we'll correct it, or within a very short period of time thereafter, affidavits would have been filed correcting the issue of service, because you had asked to be addressed on the question on the 30th of November. So you would have expected they would have rushed to correct the situation immediately. But it was not until we filed an application challenging, asking that the petition be dismissed on the ground of that there was no timely service. And not only after, because we filed that on the 29th, but another 12 days elapsed before an affidavit was filed seeking to correct the date of service. And that begs the question, what took so long? Why was it taking so long to correct the situation if in fact an error was made?
The attorney stated that it was not until the respondents submitted their applications to dismiss the petitions that an affidavit was filed, seeking to correct the dates of service to Granger. Mendes said this was 12 days after the fact.
And that begs the question, what took so long? Why was it taking so long to correct the situation if in fact an error was made?
Attorney General Ante had filed notice of application seeking to dismiss the election petitions filed before the High Court by APNU AFC. In Monday's case management hearing, the application was the subject of discussion. Counsel for the petitioners, Mayor Robertson and Roysdale Ford, is expected to submit their arguments surrounding the matter at 9:30 on Tuesday. Wendell Badrie, HGP Nightly News.